Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, we are a minimalist family who is living big with less, and today we are going to be talking about all things minimalist toys. I have actually pulled out every single toy we own from all of the places, and I'm going to show you exactly what we have, why we picked these toys, and how we use them to the absolute maximum. So if you have got some toy issues or you're thinking about decluttering toys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Alright guys, so behind me are all of our toys. I pulled out every single one for you. And I by no means think that I am perfect when it comes to toys, and these are the toys that suit us. So please don't think I'm telling you that this is what you should have. It's more of, I am a visual learner, so when I watch other videos about what people have or how they use things, I glean those ideas, and so please take what you like and leave what you don't. Just a pre-warning, if you are offended by plastic toys, there's going to be some. As much as I would love my kids to have all wooden, organic toys, that is just not what they like to play with. And so we buy good quality toys that we either resell or pass on when we're finished, and we try and have toys that we use to the absolute maximum so that we are not adding to the global consumption as much, and so we're doing our very best. I also purchase a lot of toys secondhand so that, you know, we are helping reuse and recycle all these toys for many children to come, hopefully. So let me get stuck in. Most of our toys live in this white storage unit behind me. We have these little white boxes that they live in, and I'm gonna go through and show you exactly what we have in each one. So this first box has mostly my 2-year-old toddler's stuff. We have a secondhand Buzz Lightyear. He is very much loved and he comes lots of places with us. Hamish is obsessed with the rubbish truck, so he has this rubbish truck of which he loves. It is one of those ones that you can pull it back and it goes off on its own, and so he really enjoys riding that up and down, or not riding it, pushing it up and down our long hallway here. Now this is a remote control Thomas, so he does not require any tracks. So if you have a little boy that is interested in trains but you're not sure how they'll go with tracks, I highly recommend this because you don't need all of the pieces for the tracks. He talks and all sorts of things, and you can ride him up and down the hallway. He turns around and he says all sorts of things. He's great. He's just remote control, no tracks. Now this Thomas I absolutely love. This is a little Thomas mini set that I got for Hamish. This is, if you have a little one that's still putting toys in their mouth, probably not safe, but Hamish is past that stage now, so he's fine. So these are the little Thomas minis. I hope you can see that. And then this little case actually converts into a little train set, so everything is in it, and then they just go down this little track like that. He absolutely loves it. The girls get it out and set it up and play with him. If you sort of put it up high, the little trains will spin right off and down the hallway. This is another good one if we're going to, say, maybe visit somebody in hospital, or if we're going to be waiting somewhere like transport department or a doctor's office. Because it all packs up so small, I can take it with us in the car, put it in my bag, and we can have a fun time playing. It doesn't make any other noises other than the trains going down. It's really quick and easy, and it packs up super small. The funny thing about kids is that sometimes things that they love are super weird. One of Hamish's favorite toys is this little Peter Rabbit that fires off his carrots. I think it would have come from like a Happy Meal type toy once. It was given to him and he absolutely loves it. It's his favorite toy by far. These toys, they're called Zuzu pets. They're like little hamsters or guinea pigs that they talk and they run around and all sorts of things. These are probably 10 years old. They were actually my little sisters, and they passed them on to my girls, and we absolutely love them. All my kids love them. This is another toy that is really useful because it doesn't need tracks or a set or anything. They can just roam around, particularly if you've got tile floors or wooden floors. They can run around. Now, I also get the kids to set up little DUPLO bridges and stuff that we get them to run through. They've set up little card houses for them and get them to go in, see if they can get them to go inside the house. So little toys like this that don't have a lot of accessories, but you can make your own and fill out in imaginative ways, I think are really helpful. As far as cars go, I prefer these little people cars to the Matchbox style cars for Hamish's age right now. These little cars, we take them to the playground, he runs them down the slide or puts them in the little spinny thing. We also use these boxes with the lid as like a little track that he can roll them down on. I just put the lid up like that. We roll them down the track. We take them outside. We had like a big tube from a rug that we'd bought. So for ages we played, putting these cars down the tube. It was great fun. I just find these cars are a little bit easier for him to manage because they're not quite so small and they're a bit sturdier than the Matchbox style cars. So I really like those, and he's got, I think, like 4 or 5 of them. He also often has a car wash in the bath with them, and they're super fun. Just recently he got into PJ Masks and Winnie. These were actually Winnie's toys. So she was a huge gecko fan, and so she has these, and now he likes to play with them. He plays with them in the doll's house and all sorts of things. But as far as like little figurines go, that's all we have. So that's pretty much all of the little toys we have for Hamish. I have 2 of these boxes with DUPLO. Now, I am a huge DUPLO fan. I don't care what age your kids are, I think that they still love it. We have the police set, we have the firehouse set, we have the pizzeria, and then just a little house. And that is more than enough for them to create whatever they like. They can set up a little city. Like I said, there are some great little diagrams and things you can find on Pinterest or just a Google search where you can get your kids to make certain things with the DUPLO they already have. So for me, DUPLO is like the imagination toy winner. I love it. They can build a city, they can make it into a sword or whatever imaginative play they want. DUPLO for the win. So the last box that I have, because I really only have 4 boxes of toys for the kids that live out here. The last box that I have has all of the furniture for a lovely doll's house that we have. The doll's house is a foldable Mattel doll's house. I don't think you can buy it anymore. It was a secondhand gift to my sister-in-law, who then passed it on to us. And so I'm sure we are probably the 10th children to have it, but it is still going strong. It's in beautiful condition, and we still have all of the pieces from the house. This is probably the one thing that we own that has a lot of accessories, but whether they're playing with it in the house itself or if they just set up a little house on the floor, I find that whether it's my girls or any other kids that are coming to visit, they really, really love it. The fact that the house folds up to be really small means that when the girls aren't actively playing with it, I can just pop it in their cupboard. It takes up almost no room at all, and it's just been one of the most wonderful toys we've had. So we just have one box full of the little furniture, and it's like a cot and a little baby. And one day when we're finished with it, I'm sure some more girls are going to have, or boys, are going to have a great time playing with that. So that is everything I have like out in the boxes. This is a recent addition to our home. It's just a cash register. Winnie picked it out with her birthday money. Gifts like this, I think, are the best. They can be the cash register for a hairdressing salon, for a supermarket, for a cafe, whatever, a toy store, whatever your kids dream up. this can be the cash register. I don't buy anything else for it. We just use what we already have. So you do not need to buy the 100-piece food set that's going to get spilt all over your floor every day. I promise they can either pull some safe food boxes out of the pantry and use those, or come up with all sorts of other things all on their own. But this has been, it's like a $10 one. It has like a little built-in calculator that makes noise, and you can beep the items as they go through. It's one of those toys that let their imagination run wild. The next thing we have is I have this one, I don't know what we would call this. Let's call it a basket of soft toys and baby dolls. I would say this lives about halfway full usually, and the rest are their sort of snugglies for in bed. So they pick out 1 or 2 to keep on their bed at any given time. My girls still, you know, even at 6, 7, and 10, they still get these out. They still play games with them. They hide them for their brother. They set up cafes or picnics with them still. So soft toys, you know, I don't think you have to have an abundance of them, but for my girls, they do like them and still use them. You know, if an item is loved and in use, keep it, use it. That's my motto. I also have this big bin that has dress ups in it. Now, my girls love to dress up, and so this is pretty full. We've got poppy hair and Elsa capes and all sorts of things in here. The other reason I hang on to dress ups is that we have very creative, artistic kids, and so if they are in a school play, if there is book week, if there is some sort of dress up day at school, I don't have to go out and buy something. We already have a really good stockpile there. And I also have a good stockpile of just generic type things. So of course we have, you know, an Elsa dress and an Anna dress, but we also have just, you know, like a magician's wand and a cowboy cape and things like that that can be lots of different things. I have a little mop cap for if the girls have got to be like an olden days person, or if they've, you know, like the 100 days where they dress up as old people, that sort of thing. I've got a little stash here. This is one of the most used things. It's so convenient because it's on wheels. It actually lives in the girls' cupboard, but if we've got friends over, they bring it out, they put on a fashion show for us, whatever the case may be. A big thing of dress ups is something that I'm happy to be not too minimalistic about. Another thing that is not actually a toy, but I love, is these lightweight whiteboards. So this is a magnetic whiteboard. So I bought the girls just some cute little magnets. This, again, the possibilities for a kid are endless. Whether it's practicing writing their name, playing a game of tic-tac-toe, doing a beautiful picture. I leave a little note on it for when the kids come home from school, because this is in our garage as we come inside. It can also be the menu for the cafe, the price board for the hairdressing salon, you name it, it can go on here. I think that things like this, when you're thinking about toys for your kids, that sometimes these out-of-the-box items end up being the favorite. Just like kids like to play with the box rather than the toy inside, I think the whiteboard, it really has endless possibilities for what you can do with it. Because this one has magnets on it, if they get like a little award at school or if they get sent a letter, I'll put this on the whiteboard for when they get home. It's just, we can also use it for birthdays. I write a big happy birthday and all that sort of thing. So as far as minimalist toys go, I think if it can do lots of different things, if it can be lots of different things, that's the key to keeping your kids' imaginations running wild, as well as limiting the amount of toys you have to keep, because they can use all of their toys for different things. Now, I didn't mention this before. This is my little girl Winnie's doll. Her name's Rachel, and she is much, much loved. I would say that she is Winnie's prized possession. For over a year now, she has been asking me for this hairdresser chair for her, because when Winnie grows up, she tells me she wants to be a hairstyler. So I did buy this chair. It's not something I would probably usually buy because it is sort of single use and only for this, but let me tell you, she has played with it so much since her birthday, and the other girls love it too. And so I do think it was a great purchase for them. And you know, you should never feel bad about buying something that your kids are going to enjoy, whether it fits some rules of minimalism or not. If your kids love it and enjoy it, that's the most important thing. So for Winnie, this was a great purchase. It just actually sits at the end of her bed, which has worked really well for me because she used to like to sleep with Rachel, but she's a bit hard and then it would wake her up. So this is the perfect compromise. Rachel sits at the end of the bed when she's going to bed, and she's still right with her in her little chair, and Winnie sleeps with a soft toy. So there you go. The last toy that I have are these Lego friends. Now, I know that Lego is such a hard one, and I am certainly not an expert on this. We do not have a large collection, and that's probably just because, you know, we're sort of at the start of that end of the journey. Seth was sort of interested in other things. He did have a few sets, but he is the kid that would like build it once and wasn't interested in building it again. So for the girls, it's a bit different. They play with theirs all the time. So they have a few Lego Friends sets, and I just have one basket of like spare pieces that maybe came from smaller sets or leftover pieces or accessories that they don't use all the time. And I have all of these sets set up on their little table in our garage. That's their craft table. They use it all the time. The reason I have that in the garage is because they're free to play with slime and loom bands and all sorts of things, and have projects going all the time without them being in our living area. So I don't have to get them to pack it up at the end. If they're still working on it, they can play with it there. So this for me is a really manageable amount. If you do have a lot of Lego, I highly recommend checking out my friends from Real Organized. They have a fantastic video on Lego storage, and I'll link that down below if you're interested. But for us, right now, we just have these few sets and a little basket, and that is working perfectly. So when I was going around, like I said, I got every single toy that we have. The only other toys that we had were the bath toys. So literally we have a little squeezy turtle that squirts water out of his mouth, and these stacking plastic cups. Now, let me tell you, these, even the girls when they're in the bath, love them. They make towers. They've actually got little holes in the bottom so they slowly drip out water. I can use it if I'm washing their hair still. If I use one of the big ones, I can just scoop it up and rinse their hair off. These are a perfect toy. If you've got someone that's having a baby recently, these are one of my favorite toys to give as a gift, because for little ones, they're great for hand-eye coordination. They make an awesome bath toy, and they're just a really good all-rounder. So that's all we have in the bath that actually lives there. Like I said, sometimes we take little cars in there or things like that, or I'll just give them some other cups and measuring cups and spoons to use in there. But for the most part, all that lives in there are these two things. So guys, I hope that this has been helpful for you. I am always curious as to what other people have for toys, how they manage it, how they use those toys to the max. I know you guys are going to have some excellent ideas on what your favorite toys are, and I love to hear from you down in the comments. If you're new here, we would absolutely love to have you subscribe. Here are some videos we think you might like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.